It was easy. My parents moved here. I was 12 years old, so I had no choice. They moved here for a job transfer for my mom. And then I went to high school here. I left, I played baseball, did the whole college, then I did the professional thing, and then I came back, opened up a business, and I've just been here. I left a couple times, but I always come back. I left for school, like early 2000s, then I came back in 05, 06, left again in 2010 to coach college baseball, and officially came back like full-time in 14. For college, and then I played baseball and I played professionally, so I traveled to Florida and I was living in Chicago and all sorts of places. And then I moved to Mount Pleasant to coach Central Michigan, and then I lived in Midland for a few years, and then back to TC. So summertime I came back, right? Like I always loved Traverse City. I think when I was younger, I had a love-hate relationship with it because there wasn't as much to do back then. Now it's a different city altogether. There's just stuff everywhere to do. So coming back from school was just more of a necessity. Like anybody in this town, you want to get out. And then once you get out, it's a boomerang. Everybody comes back. I have so many friends that left for 3, 4 years, 5 years, but then they come back here to raise a family in their 30s and 40s. So for me, it was no big deal. I grew up in a bigger city. I grew up in the Metro Detroit area, and I lived in bigger cities my whole life. I lived in Lexington, Kentucky for a while. My parents are divorced, so I lived in Florida and Kentucky with my mom, and then I came back to TC. If you were a store downtown, you had to be on 2 blocks. If you weren't between these certain 2 streets, and it was Park and Union. So you had a 2-block radius to have a store that was going to make any money. Some shuttered stores. There was an old movie theater that was closed down. Now there's 2 movie theaters in the downtown. There's stores everywhere. The downtown has changed from 2 blocks to 6 or 7 blocks of walking. So it's like when I go visit my buddy in Chicago and he's like, let's go to the store, let's go to the market. And you walk 10 blocks to the market and you're like, whoa, wait a minute, what the hell are we doing? So it's getting more expansive and more things to do. So there's more restaurants, more diverse restaurants, and it's just a bigger town, more people. We grew by, I think Michigan actually lost people last year in the last census, and Traverse City grew by 10%. So we're growing because people are coming here from everywhere. You name it, California, New York, Texas, Chicago, San Fran, LA, Vegas. They're coming here for I wouldn't say if you're coming here for a very small town feel, it's losing that little bit, which I like because there's still the small town community. Like I walk downtown and see people all the time. Like, hey John, hey Tom, hey Susie, how you doing? I know everybody in town for the most part. I can walk down and see my neighbors. But you can get outside of town, get into the country, get some acreage, but still be 10 minutes to, I wouldn't call it a thriving metropolis, but it's restaurants, bars, food, stores, open space, waterfront, beaches. So you can literally be on 20 acres in your house and in 5 minutes be to 3 beaches in the downtown district. Finally, what we've got is a city that's capitalizing on more than just cherries. We're the cherry capital of the world. We have the Cherry Festival. It's a week-long deal, but we got a great wine. We have a Leelanau Wine Peninsula and have the Old Mish Peninsula wine tours. So you got 2 big wine communities. You have the cherries, you have that. So in our downtown district with the water and the beaches is just insane, man. So like you can just do so much here. You can literally be on the beach and within 5 minutes be to a winery. And so businesses have started to develop attracting like shuttles and wine tour shuttles and pedal pubs and food trucks. So we have multiple food trucks around the city now in one area with 5 of them. So really it's just like Traverse City is finally catching up. So now it's catching up, but it's still pristine, man. The waters are still blue. It's just we've got fresh water, and that's huge. Quality of life, man. I have buddies that went off to Chicago for 5 years after school. They did the whole downtown make big money in Chicago deal, and they hated it after a while. They come back here, and it's just a different. you don't have the Chicago lifestyle, but that grows old on people real quick, like hitting a bar every single night. Some people are like, I'm over that by 27. Where do I want to raise my family? Right here. Why? Just because everything we have. Hiking trails, like I said, fresh water, skiing all over the area, golf if you're a golfer. Just downtown, like my wife and I will pack our kids up. We live in the downtown area. We'll pack our kids up, throw them in the car, drive 2 minutes, head downtown, and just take walks to the downtown, head to the splash pad, head to the beach, and then we'll be able to get home 3 minutes later instead of having to drive 30 minutes to the beach. So it's just the quality of life, straight up. It's you can get into the hustle and bustle, but you can get away from it just as fast. So it gives you the best of both worlds in my mind. So I'm a real estate agent in Traverse City and a developer and an investor. I just got into the development world. I've been an investor now for a few years. I started off just selling real estate, sold real estate, learned that it was really important to buy real estate, and now I'm developing some homes and some condos. So I'm doing that whole game. I'm a downtown dweller, man. Like I am a city guy. I grew up in Interlochen, which is really rural, and when I moved to Interlochen from the other cities I lived in, it was like, what the hell? Where am I? What am I doing? And I adapted. We rode snowmobiles and went skiing and went snowboarding and did the whole thing, but I am a city guy. That's what I like to be. That's who I am. So my wife always says, she's like, it's hard with you because you have 4-block radius of where you'll live. And it's true. We've moved 3 times within a half mile in the past 5 years. Moved 3 times, yep. So for me, I don't do a lot of driving. Like you won't catch me going out to the dunes. Everybody loves the dunes. I just don't drive out 40 minutes because everything is right here. From my house, I can walk to a beach in literally 2 minutes. I can get in my car and get downtown in 2 minutes. I can ride my bike to the park with my kids and all that safely through to downtown in about 5 minutes. I can ride my bike into town for dinner. My wife and I used to just walk into town with the kids in a stroller on Saturday morning and head to breakfast. So for me, I like things right there. And if they're not right there, they're a really close drive. Or really, so I've set it up. And the thing about Traverse, like I said before, is you don't have to drive 40 minutes to get to something beautiful. You just don't. So where I live and the way Traverse City is set up, the downtown is set up on the beach. That's what it is. The whole downtown is on the beach. The downtown's got a ton of stores, coffee shops, restaurants, you name it. So sometimes we'll head downtown, we'll call in, we'll grab a burger and some fries, and we'll walk that over to the beach and we'll eat at the beach with the kids. So it's like everything revolves around being around the water. Safe, it's safe. You can look at the internet and find out how good the schools are. You'll find out that they're great schools and there's good sports teams here. Our both football teams are doing really well. Traverse City Central is one of the top teams in the state, like for the past 5 years. So you got good sporting now, you got good sports at the schools, you got good schools in general, and then it's just the safety, man, low crime. As we get bigger, obviously, things like that change, but Traverse City doesn't have the ability to be a 1 million person town. It just doesn't. Like we don't, because we're landlocked, because we have the water, so you can't, to the north, unless you're building like you do in Dubai, which will never happen here, you only have so much land. Because we lose a lot of our land to the water, which is great. So unlike most investors, I actually find a lot of my deals actively on the MLS. A lot of investors are always digging for off-market deals. I find a lot of my stuff on the MLS. I have done a few off-market deals, but those are mostly for clients. As an investor here in town, I've been all over the country looking at deals, talking to other agents, and the returns on the west coast and the east coast are miserable. I can't believe people are buying these properties at 4 or 5% cap rates where I wouldn't even look at those things. We just bought storage units at 11 cap. When some investors are like, I do like a 24, great. But I always tell people, like, I've been trying for years to find ways to get West Coast investors to bring their money here. because of just the returns are so much better. Like we get 15 to 20% returns regularly. We have a couple of deals that are in like the 25, 30s. And those are on market deals, dude. Like what happened here is the prices haven't caught up to the rents yet. So like rents are up a little bit, but people who are selling properties are finally now going crazy. The market's so hot. The market is hot. But Traverse City, from historically, if you want to look at Traverse City, if you look at the numbers, when the whole thing tanked in 08, 09, 36%, Traverse City dropped 10 to 12% in that range, market value. And I know you can Google that and find that. Washington, D.C. dropped 4%. So we're a very resilient market. And the other part about it is we were the last to feel it. Like it came here late. Like we didn't really get the 09, 010, but we were out by 13. We were already climbing back, and by 2016, property values here were 20% above their peak in 06. So after the drop, we just skyrocketed. And now we're being discovered. So there's still time. My big thing is there's still time for investors to get in here. The prices to locals are crazy, but the prices to non-locals are amazing. You can get a 3,000 square foot home with 100 feet of water frontage on a sunset view for $1.5, $2 million, and you take that out east or out west, and it's 10, 20 million. And they're nice houses. And if they're not as nice as they're accustomed to, so you put $600,000 into it, and you're still 2.5 into a house instead of being 10 million. So people we're finally getting figured out. Our $1 million, $2 million, $3 million sales are way up, right? Way up year over year, because we're now getting discovered. But there's still time for investors, because certain areas, especially the short-term rental market, the sales are still selling off comps of single-family homes and not selling off investor comps yet, because certain areas haven't sold. So for example, let me break this down in layman's term. A bunch of people have bought in single-family homes for some short-term rentals, especially in one area of town. That area has had no sales of those as investment properties. So even though the rents will say this house is worth $600,000, the houses are still selling for $250,000. We just picked them up for $250,000. Somebody else picked them up for $330,000, $340,000. So they're climbing because investors are going, whoa, those are steals. Like anything below $450,000 is a steal. So the prices are naturally climbing because people are figuring it out. But as soon as investors start selling these things, if we sell our property that we bought for $250,000 in 3 years for $550,000, the market there automatically now single family homes will be going for $5,000, because people know it's an investment property and we can get it. I personally think it's the most beautiful place in the summertime. You can't beat it here because you just have it all, man. Like golf, water. We got some of the top rated golf courses in the country within 45 minutes. We got the nicest beaches, and Torch Lake was rated like the top 3 most beautiful lakes in the world. The colors are amazing out there. The city has grown, the city has progressed, the city has just come to life, and now we're being discovered, and I love that more and more because I'm a people person and I like activity. Like I don't want to sit in the country. This is why I don't live in the country. I want to be in the action or close to it. People who have come here from out of state and moved here, they've been going back home and then literally bringing people back to move here. Like I've had 3 clients who brought family members and friends. Like they come to visit and then they end up buying a house here. Once you get here, you just don't want to leave. You got to get here. Like people should be bringing, if you're an investor, you should be bringing your money here left and right. If you're a family person and you're looking for a safe place to live with good schools, do your research, man. Like you can't beat it. My name is Sam Flamont, and this is my experience living in Traverse City.